Thank you. We got a few issues that we need to address as community activists and community leaders. You know, I'm gonna bring up the speaker and one of the up-and-coming leaders around in our communities too, that I have a great deal of respect for. I want you to speak.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? As the previous speakers very well said, we are at a critical juncture in this country.
Tell us your name.
Harrison Tuttle.
Thank you.
We're at a critical juncture, and we're at the juncture between fascism and neoliberal corporatism. And there are two ways this can end in a decaying capitalistic society, and that's either socialism or that's either fascism.
Right.
And if you're paying attention to the news, if you're looking at Donald Trump having his name on the White House, having his campaign staged in the White House, what you see is the early stages of fascism. And this isn't propaganda, this isn't fear-mongering, this is the facts. You can go back and you can look at the people that have come before us. You can look at different revolutions throughout history. Don't get it twisted. This is going to be a revolution because the people in power are not going to give up the power peacefully. I wish they would, but they are not going to.
That's right.
So, unfortunately, and I'm sure there are good cops, but I'm going to tell you, as I stand behind this police station, the cops, the military, yes, the military, they serve to defend the country and they serve to defend the state. They are not on our side. If they were on our side, then they would reform themselves. We wouldn't have to tell them to reform. So why would we spend time here fooling ourselves? This is just me. Why would we fool ourselves thinking that we can reform a system when that system, time in, time again, is built to kill and enslave through the prison complex black people and minorities? And that's just the cold, hard facts.
Solely. That's right, brother.
That's the facts. So, when we sit here and we talk about voting, yes, voting is important. But don't get it twisted. Joe Biden is not for us. He is not. People fall for the marketing and their campaign and Joe Biden joining on IG Lives supporting black people. That's not true. If you look at his policies, he's not for health care. He wants to give more funding to police. He wants to give them more power. And what does that sound like? That sounds like fascism, isn't it? So this isn't a time to ask anymore. This isn't a time to look to the white man and say, please help us. Because they're not here to help us. They aren't. That's just the fact. They've never been here to help us. And to work with them and to expect like that is bad. So let me tell you what's going to have to happen.
Keep going, brother. Keep going.
We saw earlier in June, I mean, if you look at the cameras, if the camera pans back, there's under 50 of us. How many people were here in early June? Thousands. You want to know why the problem is? It's because we think unity is organization. We think a black man gets killed and murdered time in, time again. We stand up, we sit back down. If the Ku Klux Klan came over here and started burning and killing everybody over here, even the Uncle Toms would come in and say, oh, this is not right. But you know what? That would last for 3 days. And then they would leave. And they'd be like, oh, hope that doesn't happen again. Unity is not a feeling. It is better to be for something when you're organized than to be against something. Because if you're against something, you can be against multiple things. You're just against this white supremacy because it's a social event. And that's what it was in June. It was a social event. So what I'm doing as a 21-year-old is I'm saying, where are the black men in Rhode Island? Where are the black men across this country that care so much? And I know they care much because they're affected by it. They're affected by the systems that kill them time in and time out. You guys need to come out. You guys can't be distracted by things like materialistic things that don't matter. They don't. You can't take that with you. That's not your legacy. Your legacy and my legacy and everybody's legacy here is to build upon for the next generation. I don't expect change to happen in my time. But I have to build the foundation.
Go ahead, brother.
Just like Malcolm built the foundation, just like Kwame Ture built the foundation, just like Huey built the foundation, Bobby Seale, people still in prison because they're a political prisoner, because they were revolutionaries, and don't get it twisted, I am a revolutionary. Just like Fred Hampton said. My views do not reflect, well, maybe they do, but my views, I think, share a deep frustration. They're just frustrated in this country because this country has never been for us and it will never be. So we have to build a new country for us.
That's right. That's right. A new order.
Thank you, everybody.
New world order. Good job.
You see, that's the future of education. We talk about education and how can we make a difference in our communities. We have these young bodies that are amazing, the new millenniums, very important to our communities,